Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And my name is Catherine.
And today we're going to be visiting one of my favorite places, I must say.
Really? So you're you're a big meat eater.
I am. I have to have meat every day, so that's why I usually go to the butcher.
All right, so vegetarians, be warned. Today's dialogue is all about eating meat and where to go to get meat. So as Marco said, that place is called the Butcher's.
So we're going to be visiting the butcher, and we're going to learn all the different types of meat you can find there.
Great. So we don't have anything to preview, but before we get started, just like to mention that you're going to hear a lot of different kinds of words, and we'll be back in a minute to talk about what they mean.
Hi, what can I get for you?
I'd like half a pound of ground beef, please.
Good choice. Our ground beef is extra lean, if you know what I mean.
Could I also have half a dozen pork chops and 2 pounds of boneless chicken breast?
No chicken breasts at the moment, but we have some nice chicken thighs.
No, that won't do. I'll take this smoked ham you have here.
Okay, is there anything else?
Is this salami and bologna you have here?
Yes, it's very fine meat. Made it myself.
Sounds good. Okay, that's it.
Wait, we have T-bone, ribeye, and sirloin steaks. They are very fresh. Just came from the slaughterhouse.
No, that's okay, really. I think that's all for today.
Okay, that'll be $34.50.
All right, we're back. So this butcher was kind of creepy in the beginning.
Very creepy in the beginning.
I think that's usually the conception that you have of butchers because they always have a knife and they're always covered in blood, but it's not human blood.
Right, like the movie Sweeney Todd. Did you see that?
Yeah, like Sweeney Todd.
Butcher of Fleet Street.
But we actually took a look at a lot of different types of meat that the woman was ordering. So why don't we take a look at these now in Language Takeaway?
Language takeaway.
Okay, so the first is a classic cut. This is something that we had at my house about once a week growing up. It's called a pork chop.
Pork chop. Mm-hmm. So a pork chop comes from the animal, the pork or pig.
Yeah, well, we actually don't say pork to mean the animal. Pork just means the kind of meat that comes from a pig. So big difference there. When we're talking about food, we say pork.
Oh, wow. And what about a pork chop? So what exactly is that?
Chop is usually just on the bone, and oftentimes it's fried. Or baked, I guess. But it's just a piece of pork on the bone, and a chop. You just imagine a knife chopping something.
All right, so a pork chop. Very good. And after pork chops, we were ordering some ground beef.
All right, so ground beef is another important one. Ground beef is beef that's been chopped up and pushed through a machine that kind of pushes it out in very, very small bits and pieces.
Okay.
There's no bones.
So ground comes from the verb to grind. Mm-hmm. So to grind up meat, to make it very, very small pieces.
Right, so if you want to make a spaghetti bolognese, the kind of beef you use is ground beef, or even hamburgers.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So ground beef, you ground up beef. What other things would you grind?
Oh, you could grind your teeth.
You can grind.
Some people do that when they're sleeping. They grind their teeth. You can grind, you have pepper grinders. You know, peppers sometimes come in balls, and you have to grind them to make them smaller and broken down.
Very good. So that's ground beef, and from the verb to grind. Now we are buying some boneless chicken breasts.
All right, so boneless, as you have guessed, means without bones. Mm-hmm. And chicken breasts are usually just a really nice, juicy, kind of tender cut of meat from the chicken, from the kind of underside of the chicken, where obviously Yeah, they have it. It's not a wing. It's not a leg. It's just a chicken breast.
All right. So boneless chicken breast. Now, usually it is boneless, right? When you buy it at the supermarket.
Yeah. Next up, we've got some classic deli counter favorites. These are our cold cuts.
All right. So cold cuts. Now, this means that they are cold.
Oh, well, yeah, they're cold, but I think cold cuts, the most important thing to remember here is that they're mostly like kinds of salami or cured meats. So these are salt cured or they're dried meats. And you usually have them on sandwiches, so like a salami sandwich.
So like cured meat, you mean that meat hasn't been cooked?
Oh, no, it's not been cooked, but it's treated in a way that allows it to last for a very long time.
All right,
so they look like long tubes of meat.
Or they look very dry. So
Look very dry, like
all
beef
right.
jerky, for example.
All right, so cured meat. Now, for example, we have salami and bologna.
Bologna.
Now, it's interesting because bologna is actually spelled Bologna. So you would say Bologna or something like that.
Well, I think it comes from the Italian Bologna.
All right.
But it's definitely a change that happened in the English language when it came over from Italy. But bologna is a kind of meat it's got a very funny looking name.
Yeah, see, you're more sophisticated than I am. That's why you know this difference.
I
between
just speak
salami.
Italian, so no.
All right, so you have salami, bologna, and
Pastrami.
pastrami. What about ham? Is that considered a cold cut?
You can have ham in the cold cut section because ham sometimes comes in tubes that you slice. But ham is also just a normal kind of pork. But ham is cured,
like a smoked ham.
Exactly.
All
or
right.
smoked turkey, one of my favorites.
Very good. And now moving on from the cold cuts, we're going to concentrate on steaks.
Ooh, steaks. So there are 1,000 kinds of steaks in this world, and every city seems to have its own kind. But here we're only looking at 3, the first of which is the T-bone.
All right, the T-bone steak, I think, is one of the most popular ones.
Definitely.
It's a steak that's pretty big, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, it can be.
And it has a bone inside that looks like a T.
All right. So you're saying, Marco, that the T-bone is named after the shape and the look of this steak.
Yeah, T-bone steak.
All right.
And as well as our next one is also a rib eye.
Okay, so the rib eye, I think, actually has a piece of the rib in it. So the rib is the bone, and there's a circle, which is kind of the piece of meat is sliced off the rib, and the circle is actually part of that rib. So there's a little bit of bone in it, but it's not as bony as the T-bone.
Right. So it does have one small bone that kind of looks like an eye because you can see through it. And our next steak has no bone and is the most tender and the best steak you can have, sirloin steak.
So I think the sirloin is definitely the most expensive if you're in a restaurant. Definitely the most tender, I think, of all
It's
those
delicious.
kind of cuts.
And usually you can have like a big sirloin steak, like a half a kilo, like a 400-gram sirloin steak.
I had a friend who ate a full kilo
Really?
sirloin steak. Yeah.
Wow. Is it a competition or?
No, there's a kind of steak called la bistecca alla fiorentina in Italy. It's the Florentine beef steak, and it can be about a kilo of meat.
Wow.
Yeah.
I bet you can't even move after that.
No, you fall asleep with your head in your soup on the table.
All right, so that's all the meat-related words that we have for you today. So why don't we move on now to Fluency Builder, where we're going to take a look at some of the phrases in this dialogue.
Fluency Builder.
We're going to look at the phrases, if you know what I mean.
If you know what I mean. Now, I love this phrase, if you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean.
Well, it's
I
weird.
like it too.
So you can use it for sarcasm,
Yeah.
right? Or you can use it to kind of insinuate something, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So here's what you're saying. You're saying there's a double meaning in what I want to say. So there's 2 things I could say, and I'm not going to say it outright, but this thing that we can't really say.
So, for example, we can say,
She likes to go out, if you know what I mean.
all right, so you're insinuating that not only does she like to go out, but maybe
Maybe she goes out a lot.
a lot, or maybe she gets drunk or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a double meaning, but you're trying to be subtle.
Yeah, but it's not so subtle because you're actually saying, like, this is not what I mean. Or, she's eating for 2, if you know what I mean.
Oh, there we go. So you're insinuating that, well, you're not really insinuating, you're telling me that.
She's pregnant.
pregnant.
Eating for 2 is a common idiom in English that means that a woman, is going to have a baby. So here I'm saying, hey, do you know this idiom? She's eating for 2, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Wink, wink, wink.
Wink, wink. So now, why don't we take a look at some other examples of how we could use if you know what I mean in different circumstances when you're trying to insinuate something.
Example 1.
She's eating for two now, if you know what I mean.
Example 2.
Tim hit a home run today, if you know what I mean.
Example 3.
Jim and Laura are going their separate ways, if you know what I mean.
All right, we're back. So now that that's clear, why don't we move on to our next phrase?
So this one is a counting phrase, and for those of you who have heard the word dozen before, it might not be so new. The phrase is half a dozen.
Half a dozen. So that means half of 12.
12. So a dozen is 12. And I'm not really sure when this started being used in English, but a dozen is 12. And half a dozen is then 6.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's another phrase or another saying that's very common, a dime a dozen.
He's a dime a dozen.
Mm-hmm. So that means you can get 12 of the same type of guys for 10 cents.
Right. So they're easy to find.
They're easy to find.
Yeah.
The dime a dozen. All right, very good. And moving on to our last one. When they were talking, they said something about the meat being lean, extra lean.
Okay, lean, this does not mean lean on a door.
Right.
This is not like resting on something. This is actually a kind of way to describe food.
Mm-hmm.
And so food is lean if it's not got much fat. It's not fatty.
Okay, so if it's lean, it doesn't have much fat.
Exactly. So I prefer to eat lean meats. So I often eat birds and poultry. So chicken, I like it pretty lean. And if it's got fat on it, I'll cut the fat off.
Oh, okay, like the skin. Mm-hmm. The skin is fat, right?
Yeah.
All right, so you can have lean beef. It doesn't have much fat around it.
Yeah, and in America, actually, on the packages at the supermarket, it often says the percentage of meat that you have. So it's 95% lean or 98% lean.
So that means you have 3% fat in there.
Exactly.
Or
2%.
My math skills are amazing. All right, so now that we've finished with all of these words on Fluency Builder, let's take a look at our dialogue for the last time.
Hi, what can I get for you?
I'd like half a pound of ground beef, please.
Good choice. Our ground beef is extra lean, if you know what I mean.
Could I also have half a dozen pork chops and 2 pounds of boneless chicken breast?
No chicken breasts at the moment, but we have some nice chicken thighs.
No, that won't do. I'll take this smoked ham you have here.
Okay, is there anything else?
Is this salami and bologna you have here?
Yes, it's very fine meat. Made it myself.
Sounds good. Okay, that's it.
Wait, we have T-bone, ribeye, and sirloin steaks. They are very fresh. Just came from the slaughterhouse.
No, that's okay, really. I think that's all for today.
Okay, that'll be $34.50.
All right, we're back. So, Catherine, are you a big beef or meat eater?
Definitely am. It helps that my partner in crime is from Kansas City, and they have among the best steaks in our entire country in Kansas City. Yeah.
Wow. I actually miss, there was, back in California, we had the $6 burger from Carl's Jr. It was just basically beef, bacon, cheese. It was just like this huge burger with full of meat and obviously a lot of calories.
Oh, yeah.
But it was delicious. In Ecuador, we are very used to having some meat product every day with our food.
Yeah, well, it's the same in the Midwest, actually, from where we're from. It's the same in the Midwest because people in the Midwest generally think that if you're not eating meat, then what are you eating? Bread?
Right.
Corn?
Yeah.
So meat is considered a healthy part of the day, and you definitely eat it with your meals.
Yeah, and I'm sure our vegetarian listeners might not appreciate this, but it's just kind of different diets. Some people eat, for example, rice every day. Mm-hmm. So where in other countries you wouldn't really have rice every day. Or, for example, when I was in Chile, I had a lot of potatoes.
Really?
A lot of potato.
Have you ever had an Argentine steak? I hear they have the best beef in the world.
They are not only delicious, but they are very inexpensive, and it's amazing. You can have a complete steak buffet for like, I don't know, I can't even remember, but it was just, I sat there for 3 hours and couldn't move and kept eating.
Yeah, is it true you can eat it with a spoon? It's so soft?
Some of the meat is very, very tender, and not if it's grilled, you can't really do that, but in other preparations, it's almost like that.
With a nice butter sauce and some herbs.
All right, so
Making me hungry.
I know, you've made me hungry. I think we're going to take off and have some a burger or something right now. All right, so if you have any questions, any comments, please come to our website at englishpod.com, and we're there to answer any doubts.
And we'd love to know what your favorite foods are, meat or otherwise, so post something on our website. Hope
All
to
right.
see you there soon.
Bye.
Bye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. Beef that has been put through a grinder.
Ground beef.
A type of meat from a large bird, similar to chicken.
Turkey.
Having a low fat content.
Lean.
Used to express the listener is aware of something that is assumed to be known.
If you know what I mean.
A type of small sausage.
Hot dog.
A cut of pork in a individual size.
Pork chop.
A type of knife a butcher uses.
Cleaver.
With the bones removed.
Boneless.
The table that a butcher works on.
Chopping block.
The meaty breast portion of a chicken.
Chicken breast.
The waxy paper a butcher uses to wrap meat in.
Butcher paper.
The upper leg portion of meat on a chicken.
Chicken thigh.
A ham which has been seasoned with smoke.
Smoked ham.
Cold cooked meat used for sandwiches.
Cold cuts.
Spicy dry sausage.
Salami.
A thick piece of beef with a T-shaped bone in it.
T-bone.
A tender cut of beef from the outer side of the rib.
Rib eye.
A piece of beef from the lower back of the cow.
Sirloin.
A slice of beef.
Steak.
The place where animals are killed for their meat.
Slaughterhouse.
Wide sausage that is sliced.
Bologna.
Let's try that faster. The meaty breast portion of a chicken.
Chicken breast.
Spicy dry sausage.
Salami.
Used to express the listener is aware of something that is assumed to be known.
If you know what I mean.
A type of small sausage.
Hot dog.
A ham which has been seasoned with smoke.
Smoked ham.
Wide sausage that is sliced.
Bologna.
Having a low fat content.
Lean.
Cold cooked meat used for sandwiches.
Cold cuts.
A slice of beef.
Steak.
The upper leg portion of meat on a chicken.
Chicken thigh.
A cut of pork in a individual size.
Pork chop.
A thick piece of beef with a T-shaped bone in it.
T-bone.
The place where animals are killed for their meat.
Slaughterhouse.
Beef that has been put through a grinder.
Ground beef.
A type of knife a butcher uses.
Cleaver.
A type of meat from a large bird, similar to chicken.
Turkey.
With the bones removed.
Boneless.
A tender cut of beef from the outer side of the rib.
Rib eye.
A piece of beef from the lower back of the cow.
Sirloin.
The waxy paper a butcher uses to wrap meat in.
Butcher paper.
The table that a butcher works on.
Chopping block.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Ground beef. You should be sure that ground beef is cooked well. Otherwise, you can get sick. Ground beef. Today's special is ground beef at only 99 cents a pound while supplies last. Ground beef. Tommy is on a diet, so he only eats extra lean meat. Lean. Look at that girl over there. She is so lean. I don't think there is an ounce of fat on her body. Lean. We want to make the company leaner and more responsive to the demands of the market. If you know what I mean. This beef is so fresh, I think I can still hear it mooing, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. I know what you mean. The internet is so slow, I'm not sure I'm even connected. If you know what I mean. Boy, John's wife is really mad at him. I guess he's really in the doghouse, if you know what I mean. Cold cuts. Are we all prepared for the picnic? Let's see here. We have bread, cold cuts, mustard, silverware, plates. Cold cuts. Honey, don't forget to buy the cold cuts on your way home. Buy some sliced roast turkey and whatever else you want. Cold cuts. I would prefer a bowl of steaming noodles rather than some stale bread and cold cuts. Steak. Before I got this great job, I was so poor, but now it's steak for dinner every night. Steak. I can't finish this whole steak. It's bigger than my head. Steak. You can choose how long your steak is cooked. Rare steak often still has blood in it, while well done is almost entirely burnt.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we're looking for a new job.
That's right. We are looking for a new job, and so we're bringing you this great lesson where we're going to teach you in English a lot of terms related with looking for a job or things like a resume, cover letter. So before we get on into that, why don't we take a look at a word that we have in Vocabulary Preview.
Vocabulary Preview.
So this is actually the name of a job. It's a position. It's gas station attendant.
Okay, a gas station attendant. Now we know what a gas station is, right?
That's right. It's a place where you go to fill your car with gas.
Okay. So an attendant at a gas station, what does he do?
He or she is a person who will help you put the gas in your car. So an attendant is someone who is almost like an assistant or a helper.
Okay.
You can have a bathroom attendant, someone who gives you a towel after you wash
I've
your hands.
seen those in the fancy restaurants.
Yeah, so gas station attendant.
All right. So why don't we take a look now at our dialogue? Let's listen to it for the first time, and we'll be back in a bit.
Woohoo! This just might be the start of the rest of my life.
What happened?
I'm in the market for a job. I went on a website with hundreds of job listings in the area and browsed through them until I got the names of a few employers I would like to work for. I have the resume I wrote for English class last month, and a cover letter will be a piece of cake to write. I've even done my research and found the names of the managers so I can address the letters personally. And you know, I can be charming in interviews. Goodbye, my penniless days. Hello, salary and a career.
Ben, we're 15. What kind of job are you looking for?
Oh, just for a position as a gas station attendant. You know, starting at a simple lowly job, just like all the greats before they made it big in the world.
Uh-huh.
But I'm just in it for the money, right? How else am I going to be able to afford to keep taking Angela to the movies? Besides, I love the smell of gasoline. Don't you?
All right, we're back. So now you're probably wondering what those words meant. So why don't we take a look at a couple of them in Language Takeaway.
Language Takeaway.
The first phrase we have today is one that's very important when you're looking for a job. It's called job listing or job listings here.
Okay, job listings. And this is really common. Before the internet existed, you would have the listings in your local newspaper, right?
Exactly. And in the movies, you always had the person sitting with the newspaper circling the potential jobs.
Right, with a red marker.
Exactly. But now that we have the internet, you have lots of websites that have job listings. And so a job listing is literally a list of jobs that are available.
Okay. So you look through the job listings, maybe you found one that's interesting. There's an email address. So what do they ask for? They ask you to send in your resume.
Okay, a resume is very important when you're looking for a job. It's a document, it's a piece of paper that tells someone all of the work that you've done before, your job experiences, and it tells them where you went to school and what your qualifications are. So it's a summary of your work life.
Okay, and that's why it's called a resume, right? It's pretty much a summary of your work life, as you say.
That's right, and a different one, sometimes people use this, is a CV. Curriculum vitae, and that's an academic summary of your life. So you have the work summary and the study summary.
Okay, very good. So if you send in your resume, what's recommended is that you attach it with a cover letter.
Okay, well, cover letter, you know the word letter. It's something that you write to somebody else. But a cover letter is like a cover for your resume. It's a letter where you explain to the future boss or future employer what exactly you want and how this job is going to help you get it.
Okay. So that's basically a small little introduction to yourself, right? Before they read your resume, who you are, what you're looking for maybe, very quickly.
Exactly. So you could say, hi, my name is Catherine. I'm very motivated and excited to have the opportunity to talk to you about why I'm a skilled employee and why I will benefit your company.
Very good. All right. So you've sent in your resume and your cover letter. And, well, maybe you're looking to get into a career as a gas station attendant.
So what's the difference between job and career?
Okay, and this is very interesting because in many languages, there is a similar word, which, for example, in Spanish is carrera, right? And that means like a profession. So many people translate it literally as career, but it's not the right word. What is a career?
A career I think of as a long-term goal. A career is your profession. It's the name you give yourself. But a job is a position in a company from one time to another. So for example, my job here is host of English Pod. But maybe in the future I will have a media career. That means that my job or jobs will have to do with this profession. It's kind of a bigger thing. A longer thing.
So maybe you can think of it this way. A career is like, as you say, a bigger picture, like the macro category, right? You're into media and television, for example. And your job specifically is a podcast host.
But in the future, maybe I want to have a different job in this career and move into production and be a TV producer.
Right.
So that's a part of my career path. I can move it forward. So career is a very important word.
All right. So we've taken a look at a couple of great words. Why don't we listen to our dialogue again, and we'll be back in a bit.
Woohoo! This just might be the start of the rest of my life.
What happened?
I'm in the market for a job. I went on a website with hundreds of job listings in the area and browsed through them until I got the names of a few employers I would like to work for. I have the resume I wrote for English class last month, and a cover letter will be a piece of cake to write. I've even done my research and found the names of the managers so I can address the letters personally. And I can be charming in interviews. Goodbye, my penniless days. Hello, salary and a career.
Ben, we're 15. What kind of job are you looking for?
Oh, just for a position as a gas station attendant. Starting at a simple lowly job, just like all the greats before they made it big in the world. But I'm just in it for the money, right? How else am I going to be able to afford to keep taking Angela to the movies? Besides, I love the smell of gasoline. Don't you?
All right, we're back. So now we have lined up for you 3 key phrases that we found in this dialogue. So let's take a look at those now in Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
This first one's a great phrase. It's going to make you sound very fluent in English if you use it. We say in the market for.
I'm in the market for a new job.
All right, so this person is looking for a new job. He is in the market for. I could also say, I'm in the market for a new house. Marco, do you know any good real estate agents?
So what does that mean if you say, I'm in the market for a new job, or you're in the market for a new house?
I am right now actively looking for this thing. I really want one.
You're available.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm in the market for a new job. I'm in the market for a new car. It means the market is the marketplace.
Right. And this sometimes you could see it related in movies, for example. They say if a person gets married, they are no longer in the market. Right.
Or I'm in the market for a husband.
Right.
Do you know any nice guys?
All right. So you're in the market, you're looking for a job. And well, if you're qualified, it will be a piece of cake to find a new job.
Isn't this a delicious phrase? So piece of cake, you think, what does cake have to do with anything? Well, cake, this is a way to say something is easy. Okay, so
it's really easy.
This often happens in our office, actually, because you and I understand computers, but we work with someone who has a hard time with computers. And,
right.
And she says, it doesn't work.
And we're like, it's a piece of cake.
It's a piece of cake. It's so easy. Why is this hard? So a piece of cake is a way to say something simple. It's easy.
And it's a very, very, very common phrase. You'll hear it all the time. Piece of cake. Don't worry about it.
Piece of cake. Hey, can you help me out with this thing?
Sure, it's a piece of cake.
Okay.
All right. And for our last phrase, he was talking about his position as a gas attendant, and he said, well, all the greats, all the famous people, they started somewhere before they made it big. What does he mean with they made it big?
Well, the phrase to make it big, or in here in the past tense, made it big, means to be successful. So we're talking about, for example, Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein worked in the patent office he was a clerk in Europe. And, that's not a very impressive job, but it was a job. And he made it big later on as a physicist. And so to make it big is to succeed, to become famous or successful or important.
Right. Or sometimes people say, yeah, I made it. I made it big, or I made it in my life. And that means that you were successful.
Or this product is going to make it big. It's going to be really successful.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so it's a key phrase, to make it or to make it big. Why don't we listen to our dialogue for the last time, and we'll be back in a little bit.
Woohoo! This just might be the start of the rest of my life.
What happened?
I'm in the market for a job. I went on a website with hundreds of job listings in the area and browsed through them until I got the names of a few employers I would like to work for. I have the resume I wrote for English class last month, and a cover letter will be a piece of cake to write. I've even done my research and found the names of the managers so I can address the letters personally. And I can be charming in interviews. Goodbye, my penniless days. Hello, salary and a career.
Ben, we're 15. What kind of job are you looking for?
Oh, just for a position as a gas station attendant. Starting at a simple lowly job, just like all the greats before they made it big in the world.
Uh-huh.
But I'm just in it for the money, right? How else am I going to be able to afford to keep taking Angela to the movies? Besides, I love the smell of gasoline. Don't you?
All right, so talking about jobs, now I noticed something that in the United States, unlike many other countries, there are no gas station attendants anymore.
There are. Touche. There are actually a lot of gas station attendants in New Jersey because
really?
it's the law that you cannot pump your own gas. You cannot put gas in your own car.
And why is that?
It's a way for the New Jersey government to increase the amount of jobs in the state. So to create jobs, they made gas station attendants.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've noticed in some states, for example, you just go up to the pump, and if you have your credit card, you put in your credit card and you pump your own gas. And apparently it also has to do with health issues, because people who are working in gas stations tend to have serious health problems later on. I mean, you're inhaling all these gases from the gasoline.
That's right. It's very unhealthy, and I think that's also very dangerous in some places because gas stations are often robbed.
Yeah.
Because there's only one person and no security sometimes. So there are some negative parts of being a gas station attendant, but if it's a job and you need a job, it's probably a good one.
Yeah, no, true. I remember seeing Back to the Future when in the 50s you would pull up to a gas station and somebody would check your tire pressure, they would check your oil, and they would clean your windows, and it's just like full service when you pulled up to a gas station.
They might even buy you a beer. No.
All right. So it's really interesting about these positions. I imagine that, in other places, some job positions that maybe we would find a little bit strange or uncommon.
Absolutely. And I encourage everyone today, this is your homework. Tell us on EnglishPod.com, what is your job and what's your career? Okay? What's your job and what's your career? So what's the career you would like to have in the future?
Very good. All right. So we'll see you guys there.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And my name is Catherine. And today we've got a great show for you. We're talking all about music.
It's a great topic. I think everyone loves music. And, well, there's so much type of music out there. So that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Exactly. So there's a little bit for everyone here. Even if you hate rock music, there might be something in it that you're going to be a fan of.
Right. So before we get started on the dialogue, we have a couple of words that we want to preview. So let's take a look at them now in Vocabulary Preview.
Vocabulary Preview.
All right, so this word sounds a little bit funny. It looks like it should be pronounced differently. We say genre.
Genre.
Or genre.
It kind of sounds French. Is it French?
I think it comes from French. It's a GE word, so genre. It's a soft sound.
And what's a genre?
Well, a genre is like a category. So you could say genre of book or genre of music.
Oh, movies also have genres, right?
Yeah, they do. It's like horror movie is a genre.
Okay, or action or suspense, etc. So we're going to be looking at music genres on this occasion.
And some of these genre names actually have abbreviations. They're long words that we say in short forms. And this kind of abbreviation is called an acronym.
All right, so that's another word that we're looking at, acronym. So an acronym is a short version of a long word?
Yeah, usually it's just letters. Like USA is a very good acronym. It means United States of America.
All right, cool. So there are some acronyms as well in music, so that's what we're going to be looking at. And many other things. I guess like DNA is an acronym.
Yeah, DNA is an acronym. UN is an acronym.
All right, great. So we're going to be looking at different genres of music. So let's listen to our dialogue for the first time. We're going to listen to a game show where people have to name the song and the genre.
Welcome back, music lovers, to I Love That Song, the game show where we test your musical knowledge to the extreme. Let's get started. Team A, guess this tune.
I'm carrying your love with me.
Carrying Your Love with Me by George Strait. The genre is country music.
You're right. 100 points to Team A. Now for our next cut.
All night long, let me see that song.
Song by Cisco. I believe the genre is R&B.
100 big points for Team B. For all of our viewers, the acronym R&B stands for Rhythm and Blues. On that note, DJ, play our next song.
It's just the radio.
Superstar by the Carpenters.
And the genre?
Adult contemporary?
That's right, 100 points. Uh-oh, that sound means it's double or nothing. The songs are more difficult and the points are doubled. Let's hear our next song.
Too easy. That song is Kingslayer by the Finnish power metal group Nightwish.
You are correct. Very impressive, Team A. And it seems we have a tie. It's time now for the tiebreaker round. Each team will be played 3 songs, and they must tell us the genre of each song in less than 5 seconds. Team A, are you ready?
Ready.
Let's hear it.
Hip-hop, classical, and gothic metal.
You're right. Team B, the pressure is on. If you get all of them right, we will move on to sudden death. If you miss one, you lose. DJ, let's hear it.
Rap, disco, and
Fun show, Marco. I kind of think I'd be good at this kind of game. I might win big.
Well, there were a lot of different types of genres in there and a lot of different music. I don't know, maybe not very popular. Like, for example, country music. I don't know if many people outside of the United States actually know about this.
Well, there might be different kinds of country music, but, you know, in America, one of the most famous country music musicians is Garth Brooks. And even if I didn't like his music, I grew up hearing it everywhere.
But you don't like it?
You know, it's one of those things that I like some kinds of country music, but it's a huge genre. That means there's lots of different kinds of music within country.
All right. Well, let's take a look at more of these genres and now in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, so we talked about country music.
Yeah.
Now, this is mostly in the United States, right?
In the South especially, because there's a long tradition of country music in the southern United States.
So it's very characteristic to have guitars and
A little bit of twang, maybe.
twang. What is twang?
It's a way of saying a word. So I could say, I'm from Texas, or I could say, I'm from Texas.
That's twang.
That's twang.
So kind of like an accent, a southern accent.
Yeah, so Garth Brooks has a famous twang. I got friends in love. You know, that's a very famous song of his where he's twangy.
Very southern.
Yeah.
All right, so we have country music, and then we saw another genre, which is R&B.
Okay, this is a little bit more up my alley. That means this is more of an interest
All right.
of mine. Yeah.
And R&B is an acronym for...
Rhythm and blues.
All right, so the R&B that we know now, what would be some examples of those artists?
Well, a really famous artist is John Legend, who's been touring the world with his new album, and that kind of music is R&B. So we're talking about a kind of music that mixes jazz traditions with rhythm. So that means drums and bass.
Okay.
Dum, dum,
Right.
dum, dum. That's rhythm.
So you have rhythm and blues. So like the name says, R&B, very popular nowadays. Oh, and then we moved on to something heavier, something more like rock style, which is metal.
Metal. Okay, I'm not really sure why they call it metal, but metal is a very, very popular kind of music.
So it divides into different categories, right? In this song, we saw that it was power metal.
Yeah.
But you also have like heavy metal.
Well, because metal is such a broad category, it's a big category,
Yeah.
it's hard to say what certain groups are unless you're really a fan and you follow. But there are many different kinds of metal out there. And so if you're interested, I would check it out on Wikipedia.
Yeah, or let us know if you know what's the difference between power metal and gothic metal and electronic metal. So there are so many different types now. But moving on to our next genre, we also saw something that everyone probably knows nowadays, and that's hip-hop.
Yeah, hip hop is a great, great, and very interesting kind of music. It grew out of a lot of people who were listening to jazz in the late 80s, especially in New York, I think, Brooklyn. And it's kind of interesting in the sense that you take these old records, these old vinyls, and you slow everything down.
Right.
Right? So you change the speed. So a normal song goes from down, 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 down to down, down, down,
Yeah.
down.
And then you had like some bass in there.
Yeah, exactly.
And then some lyrics, and you have yourself something like hip hop. So a very famous hip hop artist nowadays would be 50 Cent.
Yeah.
Or, for example, also Nelly, right? Another
Yeah.
famous hip hop artist.
Yeah.
So we have hip hop, and well, it's kind of similar, I don't know, very similar to rap almost.
Yeah, but it's different in that the way the process for making this kind of music is quite different. Yeah, rap tends to be very lyric heavy, whereas hip hop is very beat heavy, I think.
Right. So interesting. Now we've seen a lot of these different genres, but of course there's so many more that we can't really look at all of them in one single podcast.
That's what our website's for. You can put your favorite music genres up on our website and practice your English.
Exactly. So, well, why don't we listen to this dialogue for the second time? Let's slow it down just a little bit, and then we'll come back and look at some more phrases.
Welcome back, music lovers, to I Love That Song, the game show where we test your musical knowledge to the extreme. Let's get started. Team A, guess this tune.
Carrying Your Love with Me by George Strait. The genre is country music.
You're right. 100 points to Team A. Now for our next cut.
Thong Song by Cisco. I believe the genre is R&B.
100 big points for Team B. For all of our viewers, the acronym R&B stands for Rhythm and Blues. On that note, DJ, play our next song.
Superstar by the Carpenters.
And the genre?
Adult contemporary?
That's right, 100 points. Uh-oh, that sound means it's double or nothing. The songs are more difficult and the points are doubled. Let's hear our next song.
Too easy. That song is Kingslayer by the Finnish power metal group Nightwish.
You are correct. Very impressive, Team A. And it seems we have a tie. It's time now for the tiebreaker round. Each team will be played 3 songs, and they must tell us the genre of each song in less than 5 seconds. Team A, are you ready?
Ready.
Let's hear it.
Hip hop, classical, and gothic metal.
You're right. Team B, the pressure is on. If you get all of them right, we will move on to sudden death. If you miss one, you lose. DJ, let's hear it.
Rap, disco, and
So it isn't a true English pod lesson if we don't give you a couple of phrases and words to make you sound more fluent. So that's the purpose of this next portion of our show.
Fluency Builder.
Okay, so the phrases that we're going to look at now on Fluency Builder are the ones that we saw in the dialogue, but we can use, of course, outside of music or outside of a game show. And there was an interesting one that he mentioned when he said double or nothing.
Double or nothing.
It's double or nothing.
Well, this is an interesting phrase because it, I think, comes from gambling and betting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a way for us to say, well, you could double your money, but if you have a bad answer, if you lose this round,
you
don't
everything.
get anything.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess, you do see a lot of people say maybe they're betting or they're playing a game. That person loses and says, okay, let's go double or nothing. So give me one more shot to win back my money.
Right. So if I say, okay, Marco, you need to tell me the capital of Brazil, you have $50. If you get the answer right, you get $100. But if you get the answer wrong, you get $0.
Right. That's double or nothing. All right. Interesting phrase. What else do we have?
We've got a great one here called tiebreaker.
So a tiebreaker.
Yeah, a tiebreaker. It's a thing. And sometimes in games, some people have the same score. They have the same amount of points.
So they're tied.
They're tied. A tie means you have the same number. And if you want to win, you need one winner. You have to have a tiebreaker to decide.
So it could be a question, or like we saw here, a tiebreaker round.
Yeah.
So to decide on a winner.
And this is all or nothing because if you get the answer right, you win. If you don't, you lose. It doesn't matter if you were tied before.
Right. All right, a tiebreaker. And we have one more phrase, and this one is really interesting. The pressure is on. So if I say the pressure is on,
it almost sounds painful.
Yeah, it does. Well, does it mean that I am being pressured, or what is this?
Well, so it's a good question. The important thing to look at here is the word on, because pressure has this kind of companion word to put pressure on something or to put pressure on someone. And so it's the way we say it in English, and it means that you're going to really take things seriously from this point on.
Okay.
Right? So, for example, the Chicago Bulls were at the peak, the height of their fame, and they were just a wonderful team. And oftentimes, you'd hear the announcers say, there's 5 seconds left on the clock. The pressure is on Michael Jordan to win the game.
All right. So the opportunity for the team to win all depended on Michael Jordan.
Right. So the pressure, all of this stuff is on him, his shoulders. So he has to score the point to win the game.
Okay. This is a very interesting phrase. Why don't we take a look at some other examples of how we could use the pressure is on?
Example 1.
Carl is really stressed out lately. The pressure of the entire project is on him since his promotion.
Example 2.
The pressure is on the president to guide his country out of the recession.
Example 3.
The pressure is on our entire team to successfully come up with a new product for the Asian market within a month.
All right, great examples, great phrases. I think it's pretty clear now, right?
It is, and to make sure that we understood the whole dialogue, I think we should take another listen to it at a normal speed. And when we come back, we'll be talking a little bit more about one of my favorite topics, music. Welcome back, music lovers, to I Love That Song, the game show where we test your musical knowledge to the extreme. Let's get started. Team A, guess this tune.
I'm carrying your love with me.
Carrying Your Love With Me by George Strait. The genre is country music.
You're right. 100 points to Team A. Now for our next cut.
All night long, let me see that thong.
Thong song by Cisco. I believe the genre is R&B.
100 big points for Team B. For all of our viewers, the acronym R&B stands for Rhythm and Blues. On that note, DJ, play our next song.
It's just the radio.
Superstar by the Carpenters.
And the genre?
Adult contemporary?
That's right, 100 points. Uh-oh, that sound means it's double or nothing. The songs are more difficult and the points are doubled. Let's hear our next song.
Too easy. That song is Kingslayer by the Finnish power metal group Nightwish.
You are correct. Very impressive, Team A. And it seems we have a tie. It's time now for the tiebreaker round. Each team will be played 3 songs, and they must tell us the genre of each song in less than 5 seconds. Team A, are you ready?
Ready.
Let's hear it.
Hip-hop, classical, and gothic metal.
You're right. Team B, the pressure is on. If you get all of them right, we will move on to sudden death. If you miss one, you lose. DJ, let's hear it.
Rap, disco, and
All right, so we have music, different music genres. Which one are you mostly into?
As a hard question, I have very different interests. I like classical music. I also like jazz, but I also like rock, and I also like R&B. So
I guess it depends on your mood. Huh?
Absolutely.
Now, they say that music does really influence people's moods.
They did a study, some doctors in America did a study to see if heart patients, people who have heart problems, could be positively affected by music. And the results said that yes, it can be helpful.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. So maybe it helps them relax or...
Yeah, it says if you're listening to the radio and a song that you like comes on the radio, you hear this song, your heart pumps more oxygen to your brain.
Wow.
So it means it actually makes you happier.
Wow. Mm-hmm. What about when they play music for unborn babies? Like they'll put little headphones on a mother's belly and they'll play like classical music because supposedly it'll make the baby smart.
It's
or
like baby Mozart or something.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I think talking to kids and giving them books when they're little probably helps a little bit more, but I'm not a doctor, so that I can't say.
Well, many people do argue now that they don't make music like they used to. I guess they say that, music that was made before, the lyrics were more profound. They were real musicians, they were composers, and they wrote lyrics. But now you just get a lot of temporary music that doesn't really transcend into the future. What do you think?
I totally disagree. I think the last 10 years have seen a really amazing growth in the music industry because more people are communicating. The internet allows us to hear all sorts of things from all over the world. And so we have great musicians who can listen to music from Mali and they can listen to music from India, and they have all these different influences that were not there before. And so I think it's the opposite. I think a lot of new pathways in music have opened up because of the technology revolution.
Wow, interesting. Well, what do you guys think? Listeners, come to our website, englishpot.com. Leave your questions and comments and tell us what you think. Do you think maybe music has become better in the last decade, or do you think maybe it's not so good? Well, you do have bad artists, right?
You always have bad artists. Yeah. It's the bad ones, they fade into history. You never hear from them again.
So come and let us know. And also, if you have any questions or doubts, you can leave them on the site as well.
Yeah, we're happy to answer any questions you've got. So let us know what you're thinking.
All right, we'll see you guys there. And until next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
A kind of literary or artistic work.
Genre.
When a person pretends to play the guitar when listening to music.
Air guitar.
Abbreviations.
Acronym.
To sing without any instruments or music.
A cappella.
Extra time to determine a winner after a tie.
Sudden death.
A demand by an audience for an additional performance at the end of a concert.
Encore.
The outcome or result depends on you.
The pressure is on.
A part of a song repeated after each verse.
Chorus.
A person or thing that gains wide appeal or fame.
Hit.
Used when you want to bet twice as much. Double or nothing.
Let's try that faster.
To sing without any instruments or music.
A cappella.
A part of a song repeated after each verse.
Chorus.
Extra time to determine a winner after a tie.
Sudden death.
A kind of literary or artistic work.
Genre.
When a person pretends to play the guitar when listening to music.
Air guitar.
A demand by an audience for an additional performance at the end of a concert.
Encore.
A person or thing that gains wide appeal or fame.
Hit.
The outcome or result depends on you.
The pressure is on.
Abbreviations.
Acronym.
Used when you want to bet twice as much. Double or nothing.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Genre. I think mystery is one of the most fascinating literary genres. Genre. I was reading in the newspaper that there are over 200 music genres in the world. Genre. My family doesn't like to watch certain movie genres such as horror, musicals, and action. Acronym. Did you know that LASER is the acronym for light amplification by the stimulated emission of radiation? Acronym. The most well-known acronym in the world is OK, although people still aren't sure what it stands for. Acronym. ATM is a well-known acronym for Automatic Teller Machine. The pressure is on. The pressure is on the president to guide his country out of the recession. The pressure is on. Carl is really stressed out lately. The pressure of the entire project is on him since his promotion. The pressure is on. The pressure is on our entire team to successfully come up with a new product for the Asian market within a month. Sudden death. The soccer game is in sudden death now. The first player to score wins the game. Sudden death. We went out to a bar last night to watch the football game. The winner was decided by sudden death. Sudden death. What an exciting volleyball game that was. I can't believe the game was decided by sudden death.
Double or nothing. Double or nothing. Double or nothing.